All right, it's Friday, August 15th, 1:32 p.m. Central Time. I'm going to call it a day. I think the theme of this video is dumb. Um, did some dumb mistakes, got into a little bit of tilt, not really, but it definitely crept in, did some overtrading and, ended up red for the day. Not crazy red, but, not happy about it. So yeah, just making the recap so I can kind of learn from it and just remind myself to not make stupid mistakes. But let me zoom this out on the 1 minute. So when we opened, and I'll kind of scroll here, when we opened, I saw this nice big candle flush down, flush down like 40 points or so. And I was wondering, it's like, oh, I wonder if like we'll bounce off this key level and go up. And so I had this key level that we marked from the weekly. It hit it, and then this next candle, it hit it again, pushed up, closed mid, but closed green. Came back, retested again, and then when this closed over the HMA, I said, okay, let's hit it. And so I went long, got out about here, and just kind of took that quick scalp. And then we started falling over, and so this candle closed here, and then so I was like, all right, let's go short. So took the shorts, saw this close low, this one pushed up, didn't quite break the low, and then I just put my out basically at the low of that candle, and I was wicked out before we shot back up. Um, and then we shot back up, so I was like, okay, we're closed above the HMA. Maybe we're gonna just do like a really hard recovery up, just because of this big volatility candle in the morning. So I got in. Then this next candle went straight down, had to stop out. Um, or wait, this is, yeah, I got out here, yeah, bought here, had to stop out around here on this down candle. And I was like, well, shit, I guess we're going down. Here, went short, took it off here when it broke the low of that candle. Like I saw it was red, but I feel like because this was such a strong down that we were going to get a push back up. Um, and then here, went short again on a push back up. I had a nice out here. And then I was like, okay, I was wanting it to go more, but then I saw this push up, and I was like, all right, this kind of break and retest. Maybe we'll fall over. Short. It didn't fall over. Stopped, and so I was kind of annoyed there. And then I tried to go long here, and so here's the thing. Yeah, this is where things started getting messed up. So I went long here. Um, and I didn't realize there was that Michigan sentiment report happening at 9 a.m. And I just missed that when I was looking at the economic calendar this morning. And I think just because I was restarting my computer and all that, but it was just a very dumb miss. And so, like I thought, like, hey, this looks strong. Like we're gonna go up. Um, and then when we got to the 9 o'clock hour, I noticed like the bid and the ask were just super wide on my trade of eight, and like the flatten button, I couldn't click it, and I was like, oh no, like what's happening? So I check, and I was like, oh, there's news. And then so and the ticks were like green and they were red and they were just moving, and I was like, oh shit, I got to get out, but my trading view was frozen. So I went to my trade copier and clicked the flatten there, and so I flattened in all my trades on all my accounts. But I got out like probably like 30-point stop or something on the size that I had. And so I was like, well, shit, that's, not ideal. And I was just kicking myself because, I check the economic calendar every day, and just make sure to be aware of things. And I just missed that one. And it was just like such a stupid mistake. And I was very frustrated with myself. I'm still frustrated with myself, as I'm sure you could hear in my voice. Um, and so like that kind of set the tone, right? And the fact that had I just held through, like, so I stopped out, that was the right thing to do, right? Flattened out. But then I see this next candle just push up, and I'm just like, what the hell? Like that would have been amazing had I just like held on to it. And so now I got mad at myself because I missed this news thing. It was in a trade and got caught in it, and then couldn't flatten out at a good price and just had to get out. Then I saw this FOMO. Now I'm like my emotions are kicking in. So here, like on this pullback, I I think actually no, on this pullback, I think I did try to long, um, but then it pulled back further than I had wanted because I think I got in kind of closer to here, expecting us to keep going up, and then this went down a little bit more than I wanted to, and I was like, let me just stop out. So this was like an in and out really quick, and so at this point, I'm very annoyed at myself. I feel the emotions and just very bad execution, big dumb mistake that I made, which kind of set off this chain of events. Um, and then so I was like, okay, took a deep breath and then reassessed and said, okay, looking at the price, it looks like we're going up, up here, up here. And so, on this pull down, I buy, obvious stop was like right up below here, pushed up, and then I got out on this next candle as soon as it didn't like make go up above the close of that candle. So took it off there. So that was a nice win. And I was like, all right, let's see what we can do. But I think I was still kind of like in getting into tilt mode a bit here. I was like, okay, now I have to make it back. I'm getting in this mindset. And so, looking at this, I was like, all right, well, we're crossing under the HMA, we're under the previous day close and all that. Or no, this is like a pre-market level, and those previous day close. And so, like, I take the shorts, and it's like, okay, we're gonna roll over closing lows are going to roll over. Nope, next candle just goes above all these. And I'm like, all right, let me put the stop above that. I get stopped out here, super annoyed. Then I see we push up, couldn't reclaim, broke down again. I said, okay, let's try again, going shorts. Um, and then I got out here. Yeah, I got out here on the broke of that. So it was good. And so I'm kind of back and forth on my P&L at this point. But like I'm not trading well, now in hindsight. I'm really trying to find um, I'm over trading. I'm not really waiting for really clean trades. Like this is clean. I think it would have been a lot better to hold on to it, had I been in the right mind. But I'm just kind of like in out, chopping in and out. Um, and then I think around here I was just kind of, I think I was for some reason. So this is where I look back at it, wasn't thinking clearly because there's no reason to try to long here. It looks like. And or no, this is what happened. So I shorted here, got out here, and then I shorted here, and I got stopped out here. Yeah, and I was expecting it to go lower, and then I just ended up getting stopped out, I think, up here. Yeah, and I think after this I was like, get stopped out, then you're kind of um, I think here on the break kind of chasing a short down, and then shorted, yeah, chasing the short down, kind of getting out. So like here, I'm like, I'm not trading well. I'm just like in and out, kind of not really having a plan with the trade. And then this one was good on the push up because after I got out of this one, I was like, well, at least it broke down. And like now we're back to the EMAs and stuff. And so hit that one, was able to get out of there. So that felt good. But here I wasn't trading well. Like I was trying to just kind of keep myself level and just not really, yeah, like not really executing well here. Like all of these, like this cluster of trades, like this should not have happened. Like this was a good trade, like following right away, um, and hanging on to it that quickly, that's not good. Like if anything, I should have stopped that up here, but I think I got wicked out up here. Um, I think this was a good trade. I think so. Like just this whole area, like I shouldn't have joined in right away. But yeah, so I was kind of on tilt and all that, and then so walked away. Saw this and I was like, okay, let me take a quick little push up. Got that. I think I got out like kind of at the top of that candle because CVD wasn't following through here. Um, and then, I was like, okay, let me try to be more patient and try to see if we kind of roll over and kind of go lower. Like I was thinking that might happen. Um, but didn't really take any trades here. Saw this, and then you know, I think what I saw in CVD and kind of saw all this crosses. I was like, yeah, this is a good scalp, and so I hit this one and then kind of got out here, rolled back over, and then this is where I was not. I was like, okay, I'm gonna make one trade to make it all back, and this is like where I kind of messed up, where I definitely messed up. Because after we broke here, I was like, okay, we'll roll over. this level here was the previous 1 hour candle high. And, this was my super wrong stop. Like if it got above here, like, you're wrong. And I was like, okay, I'll start small and I will average in, and expecting that we would roll over. But I would wait for the confirmation of it. And I think that was just because I'm looking for a bigger move and wanting to size in and try to make everything back, in one trade type of thing. Um, and so, shorting, and anyway, automatically I'm pushing up here. Like this should have been my clue to really stop. But I was like, well, my true stop is here. Like I know I'm definitely wrong here, and so I'm like really patient with this one. I think also when I was looking at this, CBD was going lower as this was going higher, and so that's what kept me in it. And then I saw it kind of break down. I was like, okay, then we're going to roll over, and then kind of peaked into the green, and then kind of went back up. And then this is where I was like, well, this is my stop where I know I'm wrong, and so I'm gonna basically, if it gets really close to it, I'm gonna average in really heavy and then just put the stop above, right? And so that was my plan. And so, I was holding it, kind of went to the green, now went back up, and I was watching the 15-minute for this. But then, this like right here, like this is bullishness, and I should have just gotten out. But it goes up, and then it gets pretty close to the stop, and so I go in heavy there, and then you get stopped out. And then that's what it was. And then later on, come in really quick. This was a nice little scalp short, and then I think I took another small scalp short here, and then I think I realized we're in just like this small little uptrend situation happening going into Friday afternoon, and you're just trying to like make everything back as quickly as possible. And so I'm just going to take the red day. It's not a super red, like not no blown accounts or anything. I think it's probably like a day and a half, of profits, and so I'll need to just reset for the week. I mean, I'm still green on the week, so that's good. That's a win. But today was not great. Today was actually very bad. Um, and I think it all boiled down to me making a mistake of not paying attention to what's happening on the news, getting caught in this, and then just letting that kind of creep me into tilt and overtrading and all that. So it is what it is. I'll be back on Sunday to do my review and just kind of reset from today. Um, you know, playing the long game anyways, so it is what it is. All right, well, that's it for me. Have a good weekend. Talk to y'all soon.